Do you want to know the secret behind every extraordinary success story? I'm not talking about the people who got lucky or had things handed to them. I'm talking about the relentless achievers, the top athletes, the unstoppable entrepreneurs. The world leaders who inspire millions. What's their secret? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's something you can learn, something you can choose. It's self-discipline. Self-discipline is what separates dreams from reality, what turns intentions into achievements. Self-discipline is the quiet, consistent force that drives people to keep going. Even when every fiber of their body says stop, it's the voice in their head that says, just one more step, one more mile, one more attempt. It's the decision they make day after day to do what's necessary, not just when it's easy, not just when they feel motivated, but every single time. Think about the greatest athletes you know. They don't rely on motivation alone because motivation comes and goes. They rely on discipline, on the habit of doing what needs to be done. Muhammad Ali once said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's the mindset of self-discipline. Now think about the entrepreneurs who started with nothing but a dream. The Elon Musks, the Sarah Blakeleys, the Oprah Winfreys. They didn't wait for the perfect time. They didn't stop when they retired. They built their dreams brick by brick with every disciplined action they took. Every risk they faced, every long night they worked while the rest of the world slept. For them, self-discipline is more than a skill, it's a way of life. Look at the leaders who shape our world. They didn't stumble into power. They earned the respect, the trust, the influence they have because of years of hard work, sacrifice, and commitment. Discipline is what made them not just leaders, but great leaders. It's what gave them the courage to keep standing up, to keep speaking out, to keep pushing forward, even when the odds seemed impossible. Now, let me ask you something. How disciplined are you? How committed are you to reaching your dreams? When it gets hard, when things don't go as planned, when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, what's your response? Do you keep going? Or do you stop and wait for motivation to come back around? This is the true success isn't reserved for the most talented or the luckiest among us. It's for those who are willing to be consistent, who show up day after day, who make sacrifices, who hold themselves accountable, and who practice discipline like a muscle strengthening it every single day. It's the person who gets up when they don't feel like it, who makes the tough calls, who says no to distractions and yes to their future. And here's the best part. You have that same power. You have the power to develop this self-discipline, to cultivate it like a skill. And once you do, you'll be amazed at what you're capable of, because discipline unlocks every door. It's the master key to any goal you set. It's the foundation of success. If you're ready to build a life of meaning, a life of achievement, then self-discipline is where it starts. Are you ready to commit? Are you willing to do what others won't so you can have what others can't? Are you prepared to push beyond your comfort zone, to resist the excuses, to take control of your own life? Because that's what we're diving into today. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why self-discipline is the foundation for every success and how you can start building it today. We're going to break it down step by step, habit by habit, so that you can unleash the success that's waiting inside you. Get ready. Because the journey to success starts right here, right now. Let's get clear on something right from the start. If you're going to achieve anything worthwhile in life, you need to understand the meaning of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the bridge that connects where you are today with where you want to go. Think of it as the sturdy foundation beneath your dreams, the thing that turns your plans into achievements. Goals are powerful, but without discipline, they're just wishes. Self-discipline is what makes the difference. Now, what exactly is self-discipline? It's not about depriving yourself. It's not about making life harder. And it's definitely not about punishment. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making choices that lead to the future you want, not the one that just happens to you. Self-discipline is the inner strength to stay the course, to keep moving forward, and to resist the tempting distractions and shortcuts that pull you away from your goals. Imagine this: you wake up in the morning and your alarm rings. You have two choices: hit the snooze button or get out of bed. One choice feels easy and comfortable, the other is harder, but it's the one that builds momentum. Self-discipline is that voice in your mind that says, get up, start now. Do what's hard today so you can enjoy what's easy tomorrow. It's that small decision day after day that creates the life you're after. Think about any skill you've developed, any success you've achieved. Maybe you learned an instrument, excelled in sports, or pushed through a tough project at work. It wasn't just talent or luck that got you there, was it? It was showing up, putting in the hours, repeating the same practice over and over, even when you were exhausted, even when you didn't feel like it. Self-discipline is a muscle. Just like lifting weights strengthens your body, every disciplined choice you make strengthens your ability to stay focused on your goals. Each time you say yes to that hard choice, whether it's waking up early, sticking to your workout, or putting in the work for that big project, you're building mental toughness. You're developing the ability to keep going, even when things get tough. And that ability is priceless. It's the key to unlocking your potential. But let me make something very clear. Self-discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's not about denying yourself happiness or making your life harder for no reason. Think of self-discipline as a gift you're giving to your future self. Every time you choose to act with discipline, you're investing in the life you truly want to create. You're saying, I'm worth the effort. My dreams are worth the sacrifice. Discipline isn't about suffering, it's about self-respect. Now, I know it can feel hard, maybe even impossible, to stick with something when it gets tough. But consider this: self-discipline doesn't mean you never feel tempted. It doesn't mean you never feel tired or want to quit. Self-discipline means you've learned to manage those feelings, to not let them control you. It means you take control over your own mind and actions, no matter what's going on around you. Here's a practical way to think about it. Self-discipline is what allows you to resist the distractions that pull you away from what matters most. It's what helps you put down the phone and focus on that report, that book, that personal project you've been meaning to finish. It's what lets you say no to the endless scrolling, the binge watching, the late night junk food that keeps you from getting where you want to go. Every time you make the disciplined choice, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you resist the urge to take the easy road, you're building character, shaping yourself into someone who's capable of achieving their dreams. And remember, it doesn't mean you'll feel excited or motivated every time you have to make that choice. Motivation is great, but it's not always there when you need it. Discipline is what's there when motivation fades. Now, here's the ironic part. Many people think of discipline as restricting or limiting. But true discipline, it's actually freedom. Discipline is what gives you control over your own life. When you develop discipline, you're free from the excuses, the habits, and the distractions that keep you from your potential. You're free to build the life you really want instead of settling for the life that just happens to you. So here's the truth about self-discipline. It's the ultimate form of self-care. It's the way you show yourself that your goals matter, that your dreams are worth the effort, and that you are capable of creating a life you're proud of. When you commit to self-discipline, you're choosing a life of meaning, of purpose, and of achievement. Remember, self-discipline isn't about taking the fun out of life. It's about creating a life you love, a life you can look back on and say, I gave it everything I had. I became the best version of myself, because that's the power of discipline. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And once you master it, there's nothing you can't achieve. Now that we understand what self-discipline really is, let's dig deeper. Let's look at the psychology, the science behind it. Why does self-discipline work, and how does it create results in our lives? To answer this, we have to start with the human brain, the control center for all of our choices, actions, and habits. Our brains are wired for survival, which means they seek comfort, security, and ease. The brain loves instant rewards, things that make us feel good in the moment, whether it's checking our phones, eating a sugary snack, or watching our favorite show instead of tackling that big project. The brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical, when we choose these instant rewards, creating a sense of pleasure that's hard to resist. But here's the catch: the same part of the brain that craves instant pleasure is also capable of remarkable self-control. This area, the prefrontal cortex, is responsible for higher level thinking, decision-making, and focusing on long-term goals. When we practice self-discipline, we strengthen this part of the brain, allowing us to make better choices that align with our goals and values. Think of self-discipline like a muscle in the brain. Every time you use it, it gets stronger. One of the most powerful aspects of self-discipline is something called delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means putting off a small, immediate reward in favor of a larger, long-term one. In the 1970s, a famous study called the marshmallow test illustrated just how powerful delayed gratification can be. In the marshmallow test, young children were given a choice. They could eat one marshmallow right away, or wait 15 minutes and receive 2 marshmallows as a reward. Researchers tracked these kids over the years. And what they found was fascinating. The children who were able to delay gratification, those who waited for the bigger reward, grew up to be more successful in various areas of life. They had better academic performance, healthier relationships, and even higher incomes. The ability to wait, to resist that immediate temptation, was a predictor of long-term success. Why does this happen? Because self-discipline rewires the brain to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term pleasure. Each time you delay gratification, you're not just resisting temptation, you're teaching your brain to focus on what truly matters. You're developing resilience, focus, and mental toughness qualities that are essential for achieving any meaningful goal. Let's talk about what's happening in the brain when you practice self-discipline. Studies have shown that self-discipline activates the prefrontal cortex, strengthening the neural pathways that help you make decisions aligned with your goals. These pathways don't just snap into place overnight. Every discipline choice you make builds and reinforces these neural connections, making it easier to stay disciplined the next time. It's like carving a path through the forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier it becomes. This is why forming habits is so powerful. When we talk about self-discipline, it's important to recognize that it's not just about one big act of willpower. True self-discipline is about creating habits that make positive actions automatic. Once a behavior becomes a habit, you no longer have to rely solely on motivation or willpower to keep going. Instead, your brain shifts into autopilot, supporting the disciplined actions you want to take. Think of this: every time you push through, every time you make the hard choice instead of the easy one, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're creating a mind that is capable of handling discomfort, of sticking with a plan, of staying focused. And as you build these pathways, you'll find that self-discipline becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural response. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Once you develop self-discipline in one area, it spills over into others. Psychology researchers call this the transfer effect or spillover effect. If you practice discipline in one aspect of life, like exercise or budgeting, that discipline tends to spread. You start making better choices in other areas as well. Why? Because your brain is adapting to the habit of discipline itself. So think about what that means when you start a disciplined routine in just one area. Maybe it's waking up early, saving money, or spending 15 minutes a day learning a new skill. You're creating a ripple effect. You're teaching your brain to handle challenges, to resist distractions, to make intentional choices. Soon, self-discipline becomes a part of who you are. It stops being a struggle and starts becoming second nature. And here's the exciting part: building discipline actually changes your experience of life. Research shows that self-discipline leads to greater happiness, not less. People who practice discipline are more likely to achieve their goals. And that success brings a profound sense of fulfillment. When you set a goal, follow through, and reach it, your brain releases a powerful sense of satisfaction, a lasting happiness that's far greater than the fleeting pleasure of a distraction. But self-discipline isn't just about achieving big goals. It's about who you become in the process. Every time you choose discipline, you're building integrity, self-respect, and confidence. You're proving to yourself that you have control over your own life, that you're not a slave to impulse or circumstance. So remember, self-discipline isn't about denying yourself. It's about empowering yourself. It's about building a mind that's wired for resilience, for focus, for achievement. Every time you make a disciplined choice, you're unlocking your potential. And with each decision, you're creating a life that reflects your deepest values and greatest dreams. All right, let's take a moment to clear up some of the biggest myths and misconceptions about self-discipline. Because let's face it, discipline often gets a bad rap. People think it's this cold, rigid force, something only certain people are born with, or worse, something that deprives them of enjoying life. But those beliefs are only half-truths, or worse, complete misunderstandings. If we're going to build real, lasting self-discipline, we need to start with a clean slate. So let's break down these myths one by one. Myth 1: self-discipline is about deprivation. The first myth we need to tackle is the idea that self-discipline is about deprivation. People hear the word discipline and they think it means restriction, sacrifice, or living a life without pleasure. They imagine saying no to every little joy, giving up all the fun, all the freedom. But let me tell you something: true discipline isn't about deprivation. It's actually about freedom. You see, when you're disciplined, you're not living a life of restriction, you're living a life of choice. You're choosing the things that actually serve you. Let's think about it this way. Say you have a goal to get healthy and fit. Self-discipline doesn't mean you'll never enjoy a good meal again. It doesn't mean you're stuck on some miserable diet. Instead, it means that you make intentional choices. You choose food that fuels your body, rather than food that leaves you feeling sluggish or tired. And yes, that might mean passing on that dessert sometimes, but it's not out of punishment. It's because you've chosen a greater reward: the energy, the confidence, and the freedom that come with being healthy. When you understand discipline this way, it stops feeling like a burden. It becomes a way to create a life of freedom, a life where you're in control, not driven by impulsive desires or quick fixes. With self-discipline, you're the one calling the shots. Myth 2, you have to be born disciplined. The next myth might be the biggest one, the idea that you have to be born disciplined, that only a few lucky people just have it while the rest of us are out of luck. But here's the truth, self-discipline is not some genetic gift. It's a skill, one that can be developed by anyone, regardless of your background or personality. Think about it like this, we're not born knowing how to walk, talk, or read. We learn these skills over time with practice. Self-discipline is the same way. If you look at anyone who seems incredibly disciplined, I can almost guarantee that they didn't start that way. They built it up, one small step at a time. And that's the key here. Discipline grows when you work at it consistently. It's not about waking up one day and suddenly becoming a disciplined person. It's about choosing to build it piece by piece. And let's remember, everyone struggles with discipline at some point. Even the most successful, focused people you see have had moments where they felt like giving up or taking the easy way out. The difference is that they chose to keep going. They knew that discipline wasn't a one-time act, but a skill they had to keep sharpening. So don't buy into the myth that you're either born with it or you're not. Discipline is there for anyone willing to put in the work to develop it. Myth 3, discipline means being serious all the time. Finally, let's talk about the myth that discipline means being serious all the time, that if you're disciplined, you can't have fun, you can't relax, you can't enjoy life. Let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. Discipline is about balance. It's about knowing when to push yourself and when to give yourself space to recharge. Self-discipline isn't about removing joy from your life. It's about knowing when to focus and when to let go. In fact, real discipline often means giving yourself permission to rest, to take breaks, to laugh and connect. People think that to be successful, they need to grind nonstop. But the reality is that approach leads to burnout. True discipline means understanding that rest is just as important as work. Look at the world's top performers, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators. They all understand the importance of balance. They work hard, yes, but they also know how to step away, to recharge, to come back stronger. Self-discipline allows you to create a rhythm in life, one that includes both hard work and enjoyment. It's about putting your best effort into the moments that matter and letting yourself breathe in between. So the next time you think discipline means being serious all the time, remind yourself discipline is about balance. It's about making choices that support your growth and well-being, not about denying yourself joy or connection. When you understand this, self-discipline becomes sustainable. It stops being this heavy weight and becomes a tool that empowers you. So there you have it, 3 of the biggest myths about self-discipline busted. Discipline isn't about deprivation. It's not something only a few are born with, and it doesn't mean you have to be serious all the time. Instead, self-discipline is about freedom. It's a skill anyone can build. And it's about balance and joy. When you see discipline for what it really is, it becomes a path to a fuller, more empowered life. You gain the freedom to choose, to focus, to create a life that's in line with your highest goals and values. So why self-discipline? Why is it that this one quality above intelligence, above talent, even above passion seems to separate those who succeed from those who fall short? Because discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the starting point. The glue that binds every step you take toward your dreams. Without discipline, even the best laid plans fall apart. With it, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Now let me break this down for you. Every single big achievement, every extraordinary accomplishment starts with self-discipline. It's the decision to stay focused, to stay committed, to push forward when it would be easier to give up. Let's explore how discipline plays a role in building focus, consistency, and achieving those big goals over time. Think of the most successful people in any field. You'll see one thing in common: they know how to focus. But focus doesn't just appear out of nowhere, it's born from discipline. Focus is the ability to put aside distractions, to tune out the noise, and to zero in on what truly matters. That's why discipline is essential. It trains your mind, your habits, and even your emotions to cut through distractions and keep your attention on the goal. Take someone like Elon Musk. Here's a guy who's running multiple companies, leading the charge in industries as diverse as electric vehicles, space exploration, and renewable energy. It's no secret that he works insane hours and has an almost obsessive level of focus. That's not something that just happens. It's the result of relentless self-discipline, of a willingness to focus on his vision. Even when the odds are stacked against him, he doesn't get sidetracked, and that's because he's disciplined enough to protect his focus no matter what. And that's what self-discipline gives you, the power to stay on track, to stay locked onto your target, even when everything else is pulling for your attention. When you build discipline, you're building a fortress around your focus. And that focus, that's your golden ticket to achieving anything you set your mind to. Now, focus is only part of the picture. The next piece of the puzzle is consistency. Because it's not what you do once in a while that counts, it's what you do every single day. Discipline is the engine behind consistency. It's what keeps you going back day after day, putting in the work. Even when you don't feel like it. This is what separates dreams from reality. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Her rise to success didn't happen overnight. She worked for years, showing up day after day, often in the face of incredible challenges and setbacks. What made her one of the most influential people on the planet? It wasn't just talent. And it certainly wasn't luck. It was her unwavering discipline to be consistent, to keep moving forward regardless of what life threw at her. And that consistency, built over time, became the foundation for her extraordinary success. Consistency is powerful because it compounds over time. Each step you take, each moment of disciplined action builds on the last, and pretty soon you've got momentum. You've built a force that drives you forward, making it harder to stop than to keep going. This is why discipline is non-negotiable. Without it, you might make progress for a day, a week, maybe even a month. But only with discipline can you keep showing up consistently enough to achieve big goals. Let's take a look at a few other powerful examples. Think of Steve Jobs, who was known for his relentless focus and high standards. Jobs had a vision of what he wanted to create, and he was disciplined enough to hold himself and his team to that vision, even when it meant working around the clock. His discipline wasn't just about pushing himself, it was about pushing boundaries, about refusing to settle for anything less than excellence. That's the kind of commitment that turns visions into reality. Then there's Serena Williams. She's one of the greatest athletes of all time, and her success isn't just because of her talent, it's because of her discipline. The discipline to train rigorously, to study her opponents, to push herself harder than anyone else. Even after reaching the peak of her career, she didn't let up. She kept working, kept training, kept pushing. Her story shows us that even the most talented people in the world rely on discipline to turn that talent into something legendary. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful aspects of discipline, the way it compounds over time. You see, discipline isn't about one giant leap. It's about a series of small, consistent steps. It's about showing up each day, making the right choices, taking the right actions. And here's the secret: each small step adds up. It starts building momentum, and over time, it creates this unstoppable force. Think of discipline like a snowball. At first, it's small, maybe even difficult to push forward, but as you keep at it, as you keep pushing, it grows, it builds eventually. It's so big and so powerful that it takes on a life of its own. This is the compound effect of discipline. What starts as small actions, waking up early, doing the extra work, choosing to focus, turns into major achievements over time. And here's the truth, that's how success happens. It's not one big moment, it's the result of 1,000 small disciplined choices made consistently over time. That's why discipline is the foundation. It builds resilience, it builds momentum, and it builds a habit of winning. So when we say that discipline is the foundation of success, we mean it's the core, the bedrock. Without discipline, you may get close to your goals, but it's discipline that takes you all the way there. It's the fuel that drives focus, consistency, and persistence. It's what allows you to create something remarkable over time. Self-discipline isn't just a skill, it's a way of life. It's a commitment to being the best version of yourself, to choosing growth over comfort, and to building something extraordinary one choice at a time. All right, let's get real. We know self-discipline is powerful. But how do we actually build it? How do we go from thinking about discipline to making it a part of who we are, woven into the fabric of our everyday lives? You see, discipline isn't something you wake up with one day, it's built. Step by step, habit by habit, choice by choice. If you're ready to take charge of your life, here's where to start. Everyone, start small. First things first, start small. We've all been there, setting big, ambitious goals like working out every day, reading a book every week, or changing our entire routine overnight. But here's the truth: discipline isn't about grand gestures, it's about the small. Consistent action. Start with one small habit that you can commit to each day. Something simple, something you know you can achieve. Let's take something as simple as making your bed each morning. It sounds almost trivial, right? But here's the magic by making your bed. You're starting your day with a tiny win. You're proving to yourself that you can set an intention and follow through on it. And when you stack these small wins day after day, you build momentum. Making your bed becomes more than just a chore. It's the first brick in the wall of discipline you're building for yourself. When you start small, you're teaching your brain that you're capable of discipline, that you can accomplish what you set out to do. And from that foundation, you can build up to bigger habits, bigger goals. 2, set clear goals. Now, if you're serious about building discipline, you've got to set clear goals. Why? Because discipline needs a direction. It's like a muscle. And just like any muscle, you need to give it a purpose. Think of your goals as the targets you're aiming for. But here's the key, don't stop at the big picture. Break down those big goals into small, manageable tasks. Imagine you want to run a marathon. That's the big goal. But you're not going to get there by lacing up your shoes and running 26 miles tomorrow. Instead, break it down. Start with running 1 mile each day, then 2, then 3. Each day's effort, each mile you run, gets you closer to the finish line. And this goes for anything you want to achieve, whether it's a project at work, building a business, or improving yourself. Having clear, broken down goals makes your journey feel manageable. It prevents you from getting overwhelmed because you're focusing on one step at a time. Each small accomplishment reinforces your discipline, pushing you further toward that ultimate goal. 3, accountability, the power of support. Let's be honest, it's a lot easier to stay disciplined when you're not in it alone. Accountability is a powerful motivator. When you share your goals with someone, or better yet, find a partner to go on the journey with you, you create a system of support. This person doesn't just keep you in check, they're your cheerleader, your teammate. Let's say you have a friend who also wants to build a habit of working out. Agree to meet at the gym together or check in with each other daily. Knowing that someone else is counting on you to show up is a huge motivator. Accountability doesn't have to be formal. Either. It could be as simple as telling a friend, a family member, or even posting about it online. When others know what you're working toward, they can encourage you to keep going, even on those tough days. Building discipline is challenging, no doubt. But with someone holding you accountable, you'll find that it's easier to stick with your goals. And over time, this accountability becomes part of your discipline muscle. It keeps you on track and reminds you why you started in the first place. 4, reward yourself, celebrate the small wins. Here's a big one, reward yourself. Discipline isn't just about grinding and pushing, it's also about celebrating every step you take toward growth. When you accomplish a goal, no matter how small, take a moment to recognize your progress. These rewards don't have to be big. It could be something as simple as enjoying a treat, taking a break, or doing something you love. These rewards aren't just about feeling good, they're about reinforcing the behavior. When your brain gets a positive reward for a disciplined action, it starts associating discipline with pleasure, with satisfaction. That creates a powerful loop. Your mind starts to crave the benefits of discipline because it knows there's a reward at the end. Over time, these small rewards reinforce your habits, making discipline feel less like a chore and more like a natural part of who you are. So don't wait until you achieve the big goal to celebrate. Acknowledge every step you take in the right direction, and you'll build a positive connection to your efforts. 5, stay consistent, the true power of daily habits. Consistency. If there's one thing that separates the good from the great, it's this. Discipline isn't about doing something once. It's about doing it every single day. And that's where the magic happens. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's not about working for hours on one day and then stopping. It's about working a little bit every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Think of any skill, playing an instrument, learning a language, getting fit. The people who master these skills aren't the ones who practice for a whole day and then give up. They're the ones who practice daily, even if it's just for 10 minutes. That's the power of consistency. Each day's effort builds on the last, creating a solid foundation that grows stronger over time. Consistency creates momentum. And once you've built that momentum, it becomes easier to keep going. You'll find that discipline turns into habit, and habit becomes a part of who you are. And that's when you become unstoppable. That's when you've mastered the art of self-discipline. So how do you stay consistent? Set reminders, create routines, and prioritize your habits. Plan your day around these small actions. It's easy to forget, but when you set up a system, it becomes second nature. Place sticky notes, set reminders, track your progress. Whatever works for you to make sure you're taking small, consistent steps each day. When you follow these steps, you're not just building discipline, you're building a lifestyle, one that keeps you focused, motivated, and moving toward your goals. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Every small step, every tiny action compounds to create something far greater than the sum of its parts. That's the beauty of self-discipline. Self-discipline isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's the choice to start small, to set clear goals, to find support, to celebrate along the way, and most importantly, to stay consistent. Every small effort you make today is a step toward the person you want to become. And that's the beauty of discipline. It gives you the power to create your future one choice at a time. Building self-discipline isn't a smooth, uninterrupted journey. It's filled with hurdles, challenges, and moments where your resolve is put to the test. But every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, to sharpen your discipline, and to get closer to your goals. Let's talk about the most common obstacles to self-discipline and, more importantly, how to overcome them. 1. Procrastination, getting started with the 2-minute rule. Procrastination, one of the biggest barriers to discipline. We've all been there. That urge to put things off, to wait until we feel more ready or more motivated. But here's the truth, waiting for motivation is like waiting for lightning to strike. And it keeps you from making progress. One powerful technique for overcoming procrastination is called the 2-minute rule. The idea is simple. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to start, just do it. For bigger tasks, commit to working on it for just 2 minutes. Often, once you start, you'll find that the hardest part is behind you. Getting going is half the battle. Think of it this way: when you break down the barrier of starting, you create momentum. That momentum is often enough to carry you through. Next time you find yourself procrastinating, try this rule. Start small, commit to 2 minutes, and watch how easily you find yourself moving forward. 2. Burnout, finding balance and setting boundaries. Burnout, a word we hear a lot these days. Burnout isn't just about feeling tired, it's about feeling emotionally drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your goals. And ironically, it often hits those of us who are the most committed, the most disciplined. To prevent burnout, balance is key. Self-discipline doesn't mean pushing yourself to the limit every day. True discipline includes knowing when to rest, setting boundaries, and allowing yourself time to recharge. When you set boundaries like dedicated time for work, for relaxation, and for sleep, you give yourself the energy to keep going. Think of rest as an investment. When you take time to rest, you come back more focused, more motivated, and more capable of giving your best. Don't underestimate the power of a balanced routine. By pacing yourself, you'll find that your discipline grows stronger and more sustainable over time. 3. Negative self-talk, shifting to positive affirmations. Let's talk about one of the biggest internal obstacles to discipline: negative self-talk. Sometimes it's not the tasks we have to complete that hold us back, it's the beliefs we have about ourselves. When we constantly tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'll never finish this. Or why even try? We're setting up roadblocks in our own minds. Here's the truth: your mind believes what you tell it. So why not tell it something empowering? Start replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations. When you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be able to do this, counter it with, I am capable. And I can take this one step at a time. Or if you think, I always mess things up, try replacing it with, I learn from my experiences and get better every time. Affirmations aren't just feel-good phrases, they're tools for rewiring your brain. When you start believing in yourself, you empower yourself to take action. Try it. Write down a few affirmations that resonate with you and read them every day. Little by little, you'll notice a shift in your mindset and in your discipline. 4. Failure, using failure as a stepping stone, not a setback. Failure, the word itself, can make anyone feel a little uneasy. But what if I told you that failure is not the end? In fact, failure is one of the most powerful tools for building discipline. It teaches us, it strengthens us, and it gives us a chance to learn. Let's look at it this way: every failure contains a lesson. Maybe it teaches you a new approach, or it reveals a weakness you can work on, or it reminds you of why you started. When you shift your mindset to see failure as feedback instead of defeat, you take away its power to hold you back. Edison famously failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. What if they had let failure stop them? Instead, they used failure as a stepping stone. They chose to fail forward, learning and growing with each setback. When you fail, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve? By adopting a growth mindset, you turn failure into a tool for progress. And that, my friends, is one of the most powerful forms of discipline there is. Let's put it all together. Here are some practical tips to help you overcome these common obstacles. For procrastination, remember the 2-minute rule. Start small and you'll find it easier to keep going. To avoid burnout, set boundaries and prioritize rest. Your mind and body need time to recharge to stay disciplined in the long run. To combat negative self-talk, use positive affirmations. Remind yourself daily of your strengths, your worth, and your potential. When facing failure, learn from it. Failure isn't the end, it's feedback. Use it to fuel your progress. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about persevering through challenges, learning along the way, and staying committed to growth. Every time you face one of these obstacles and overcome it, you're building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Remember, discipline isn't a destination, it's a journey. And the obstacles, They're just stepping stones along the path to your success. Self-discipline doesn't just shape what you accomplish, it shapes who you become. When you build self-discipline, you're not just committing to a single goal, you're creating a ripple effect that extends into every corner of your life. It touches your health, your relationships, your finances, your overall happiness. Let's explore how self-discipline transforms everything it touches, creating a life of true fulfillment. 1. Health and well-being discipline and daily choices. Let's start with health, the foundation of everything we do. Self-discipline is at the core of good health. It's about making choices that honor your body and mind every single day. When you have discipline, you choose nourishing foods over momentary indulgences. You prioritize exercise even when it's easier to skip it, and you make time for mental well-being like meditation or journaling. These daily choices may seem small, but their impact is massive. Every disciplined choice builds momentum, leading to increased energy, mental clarity, and a positive outlook. When you prioritize your health, you feel more capable, more resilient, and ready to tackle life's challenges. Your physical and mental well-being become a strong foundation upon which every other area of your life can thrive. 2. Relationships discipline and how you show up. Self-discipline doesn't just help you achieve goals, it makes you a better partner, friend, and family member. Discipline allows you to show up for others, to listen fully, to be present, and to avoid distractions that pull you away from meaningful connections. In relationships, self-discipline can mean setting aside your personal desires to support someone else's needs or showing patience during difficult conversations. When you're disciplined, you're able to build trust, deepen bonds, and strengthen your connections with those who matter most. This isn't about self-sacrifice, it's about creating balance and presence. Imagine the power of being fully engaged in every interaction, truly listening, and giving your best to those you care about. That's the kind of impact discipline has on relationships. It fosters love, trust, and connection. 3. Financial stability, discipline, and spending and saving. Discipline has a profound effect on your finances as well. Financial discipline is about making wise choices today to secure a stable future. It's the decision to save a portion of your income rather than spending impulsively to create a budget and stick to it. And to think about your long-term goals rather than seeking immediate gratification. Financial discipline doesn't mean depriving yourself of all luxuries. It means prioritizing what truly matters. It gives you control over your financial life, which in turn gives you freedom and peace of mind. Over time, these disciplined choices accumulate, leading to financial stability, reduced stress, and the ability to pursue opportunities without fear. Financial discipline empowers you to build the life you envision. 4. Personal fulfillment and purpose discipline and self-growth. Self-discipline also fuels personal growth. It's the dedication to keep learning, to push beyond your comfort zone, and to pursue what makes you feel alive. Discipline helps you invest time and effort into the things that matter most to you, whether that's a creative hobby, professional skill, or personal development. When you pursue growth with discipline, you find fulfillment that goes beyond momentary pleasures. This kind of fulfillment isn't tied to external rewards. It comes from knowing you're becoming the best version of yourself. It's about purpose, about realizing your potential, and feeling proud of the journey you're on. Discipline and personal growth creates a life that's not only successful, but deeply meaningful. 5. Building resilience and mental strength, discipline, and adversity. Life isn't always easy, and discipline gives you the mental strength to navigate hard times. When you practice discipline, you develop resilience, the ability to face adversity with courage and determination. Discipline helps you stay grounded when things get tough, allowing you to focus on solutions instead of problems. Imagine facing life's challenges with a mindset that says, I can handle this. That's what self-discipline creates. It teaches you that setbacks are not permanent. That effort can lead to growth, and that you have the power to adapt and overcome. This mental strength spills into every area of your life, making you a stronger, more capable version of yourself. 6. Happiness and life satisfaction, discipline, and creating the life you want. At the core, self-discipline leads to happiness and life satisfaction. When you set goals and work toward them consistently, you experience the joy of accomplishment. You feel a sense of pride in the life you're building, knowing it's a result of your own efforts. Discipline helps you live in alignment with your values, leading to a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Happiness that comes from discipline is lasting. It's not about fleeting moments of pleasure. It's about sustained joy and peace of mind. You wake up each day knowing that your life has purpose, direction, and meaning. This is the true reward of discipline, a life you're proud to live, filled with growth, resilience, and joy. Self-discipline doesn't just transform a single area of your life, it creates a ripple effect, impacting everything you do and everyone around you. Each discipline choice, no matter how small, contributes to a life of balance, purpose, and fulfillment. Remember, self-discipline is not a limitation, it's the key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of. Now, I invite you to take a moment to pause and immerse yourself in a powerful exercise. This is a chance for you to connect with your future self, your best self who thrives through self-discipline. Visualization is a profound tool that can help you bring your goals into clearer focus and inspire you. Learn to take action. 1. Getting comfortable. First, find a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath in and slowly release it. Let go of any tension. With each breath, feel your body relax and your mind clear. Now focus on the journey ahead of you. 2. Imagine your future self 1 year from now. Let's begin with a snapshot of your life 1 year from now. Picture yourself having made self-discipline a priority. How do you feel? Visualize the goals you've set and the milestones you've reached. Maybe it's sticking to a new fitness routine, advancing in your career, you're cultivating deeper relationships. See yourself celebrating those achievements. Feel the pride swell in your chest as you recognize the commitment you made to yourself. The effort you put in day after day. What does this version of you do? How does this success reflect in your life? Imagine the joy and fulfillment radiating from you. 3. Looking ahead 5 years from now. Now let's expand that vision to 5 years from now. Picture how far you've come. The habits you've built over the last 5 years have compounded into a life rich with success and purpose. You are living in alignment with your goals and values. See yourself thriving in a career you're passionate about, surrounded by people who support and inspire you. Imagine the self-respect and confidence you possess. You've built a life that reflects your dreams, and you feel a deep sense of joy and accomplishment. What does that feel like? How has self-discipline shaped this reality? 4. The decade vision 10 years ahead. Now let's take a leap into the future, 10 years from now. Picture your life in full bloom. You are living the life you always envisioned. Each day is filled with purpose. Each decision rooted in the discipline you nurtured along the way. Visualize the legacy you're building. Perhaps you're mentoring others, sharing your journey, and inspiring those around you to pursue their own goals. Feel the satisfaction of knowing that every effort you made contributed to this beautiful reality. How has self-discipline transformed your life? What are you most proud of? 5. Anchoring the feelings of accomplishment. Now, I want you to anchor these feelings deep within you. Let the sense of accomplishment, joy, and pride wash over you. You've worked hard, and you deserve every bit of this success. Remember, this future is not just a dream, it's a potential reality waiting for you to step into it. As you bring your awareness back to the present moment, hold on to this vision. Keep it close to your heart. Whenever you feel tempted to stray from your goals, recall this future self, the disciplined, accomplished, joyful person you can become. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. When you're ready, open your eyes. Carry this vision with you as you move forward. Each day is a new opportunity to practice self-discipline and take one step closer to that future self. Remember, the journey to success starts with self-discipline. Embrace it, commit to it, and watch as the ripple effect transforms your life. Your future self is waiting. Let's make it a reality together. We've traveled an incredible journey together, diving deep into the essence of self-discipline and the power it holds in shaping our lives. Now, as we come to a close, it's time to take the knowledge we've gained and turn it into action. Are you ready? 1. The challenge, commit to 30 days. I challenge you to commit to one specific habit for the next 30 days. This could be anything: a daily workout, waking up an hour earlier, dedicating time to learning a new skill, or even practicing gratitude each day. Choose something that resonates with you, something that aligns with your goals. Remember, the key here is not to choose the hardest habit, but the one that will help you grow and build momentum. Starting small is the gateway to building a powerful discipline that can transform your life. 2. Focus on consistency, not perfection. As you embark on this challenge, I want you to focus on consistency over perfection. It's not about being perfect every single day. It's about showing up for yourself consistently. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and get back on track. Each day is an opportunity to strengthen that discipline muscle. Each effort compounds over time, leading you closer to your goals. The road to success isn't always straight, but with determination, you will navigate the twists and turns. 3. The power of community and accountability. Share your commitment with someone, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Having an accountability partner can make all the difference. Support each other, check in regularly, and celebrate the small victories along the way. When we share our goals with others, we increase our commitment. We create a supportive environment that fosters growth. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. 4. Closing with a powerful statement. Success isn't reserved for a select few, it's for those who choose to stay disciplined, who choose to keep going no matter the obstacles. The only difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is the decision to take action and maintain that action. 5. Call to action your moment of choice. So will you be one of them? Will you take on this challenge and commit to your own success? I urge you to embrace this opportunity to transform your life, to redefine what is possible for you. Write down your habit, set a reminder, and share your commitment with the world. Document your journey and let it inspire not only you but others around you. This is your moment of choice. Embrace it. 6. Embrace your journey. Remember, every step you take towards self-discipline is a step towards a brighter, more fulfilling future. You have the power within you to create the life you desire. So let's get started. Let's make these next 30 days a testament to your commitment, resilience, and unstoppable spirit.